We are ready for action in the light heavyweight division. Two strong, heavy hitters looking for the knockout. Let's have Jake Digman bring out our first fighter.
The following contest is in the Rocktagon MMA Amateur Light Heavyweight Division, and it is brought to you by Tombstone Rocks, the official jeweler of Rocktagon MMA. Introducing first, making his way down the aisle into the red corner, please welcome Dan Guillims.
Dan Guillims, originally from Massillon, Ohio, fighting out of Avon, Ohio, Chutubo West, Judo, BJJ, and MMA, 27 years old. Jake mentioned this fight is certainly recognizing the military in this one, and for a good reason. Dan Guillims is a sergeant in the Marine Corps, just returned a year ago from a tour in Afghanistan, comes in 2-0, recorded a 17-second knockout in his debut at Amateur Elite 2. 2 years since he last fought, and again, that's because he's been stationed overseas. Let's bring out Guillims' opponent.
And his opponent, making his way down the aisle into the blue corner, please welcome Crazy Ray Hollis.
Crazy Ray Hollis from Team Bundy, 26 years old. As we take a look at the tail of the tape, brought to you by Outdoor Options. Similar ages, Dan Guillims enjoys a 2-inch height advantage, 1-inch reach advantage for Crazy Ray Hollis. Ray Hollis fought at Elite Series 22 for Rocktagon, won by KO in the second round. 1-0 against 2-0. Two top up-and-comers here in Rocktagon, light heavyweight, both big, in-shape fighters. Both looking for the knockout. This is going to be an exciting fight. We take a look at Crazy Ray Hollis. This is for fans who enjoy knockouts. You might just be in luck. We send it up to Jake Digman for the official fighter introductions.
The following contest is in the Rocktagon MMA Amateur Light Heavyweight Division, and it is brought to you by Tombstone Rocks, official jewelers of Rocktagon MMA. Introducing first in the red corner, he fights out of Massillon, Ohio. He weighed at 204.5 pounds, representing Victory Martial Arts with an MMA record, 2 wins, 0 losses. Please welcome Dan Guillims. His opponent in the blue corner, he fights out of Cleveland, Ohio. He weighed in at 201.5 pounds, representing Team Bundy and FTW Fight Team with an MMA record, 1 win, 0 losses. Please welcome Crazy Ray Hollis. This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and when the action begins, your referee is the meat cleaver, Forrest Petz.
Here we are. Dan Guillims in the black spandex. Crazy Ray Hollis, black spandex with the yellow Rev gear, fighting Forrest Petz, third man in the cage. I'm Ryan Cavanaugh. Once again, my pleasure to be joined by Victor Ventresca.
Thank
Victor,
you for having me.
These are two guys, 3 wins, 3 knockouts.
Right, they're both 200-pounders. Eventually they'll cut down to 2 or 185, I'm sure. Maybe stay at 205, but right now, let's see what's going on. The guys are kind of stalking each other.
Yeah, it's Guillims that takes the center of the cage and walking him down. A big left by Guillims, and that hurt Hollis. Got him on his bicycle.
He's running a little bit, he's moving. Hollis is a lefty, he's working that front leg kick. There's a push kick. A little wild in his stance, but seems to be keeping.
Dan Guillims is a black belt in the marine arts, marine martial arts. As I mentioned, he just returned a year ago from a tour in Afghanistan where he's a sergeant in the Marine Corps. Also had a tour in Iraq.
Got to give him kudos for that. I know this guy's train hard, work hard.
Absolutely.
He's 27 years old, it looks like.
27 years old.
Looks like he trains a little bit at several places, a little bit of judo background, MMA out of Akron. That's what he does against the cage. He's got to spread him out a little bit here and try to slip down to that leg. You can't just muscle him down until he locks him against the cage.
And that's what he's trying to do. He's got the body lock and just trying to...
He's got to work that leg and do a trip, bring the leg out, sweep it back.
Well, it's hard to do that against a guy the size with the strength of Ray Hollis. You know, you're not going to muscle him down.
No, true that. Both of these guys are very, very physical appearance and they look very strong.
You mentioned the possibility of one of them in the future cutting down to 185, but they're both lean for 205. I mean, they both look...
They're big.
They're not carrying a lot of excess weight.
No, and I said that because they both came in under the 205 weight class. And here we got Forrest breaks them. Try to get this action sped up a little bit. They're locked up on the cage.
Players touch gloves, and Guilliams, once again, Guilliams goes on the stalking. Big left by Crazy Ray Hollis. I don't believe it connected, but he's put it out there. Look for that straight left again by Crazy Ray Hollis.
Leg push kick. Hollis has burned a lot of energy, bouncing back and forth, playing that game, but if he's got it to burn, then let's see how this fight ends up.
Yeah, driving 30 miles doesn't really matter if you have 60 miles of gas.
Right, slow and steady wins the race.
But Guillims is very content. He's the one, oh no, right
There's
hand.
a nice right hand, absolutely. He's being patient.
Yeah, he's really just stalking him and loading that right, and he connected with it. Now, using his head.
A good weapon to use against the lefty is to lead with that right hand and just kind of look for the timing for it to open up.
It's a good left by Guillims. And again, guys this size, those short lefts have a lot of power behind them.
Oh yeah, especially from that distance, you know, short punches that are going to connect. 10-second warning.
Second 3-minute rounds here in the amateur division.
I'm going to put the pressure on you this time and see what you think as far as who won this round.
See, I'm leading the dancer. It usually does not go like that, Victor, but I'll tell you what, I will accept that, and I will tell you, I think I'd give it to Dan Guillims.
I would too, based on the fact that he had, there's probably equal striking or damage, if any. Fact is, though, Dan did have more cagemanship. You notice how he kept his stance, kept the center of the ring. Oftentimes, that's another aspect of scoring in MMA that people don't appreciate. So, looking at it based on that, a little ice village in the ring here. But you got, people have to realize also, in the amateurs, you get a 90-second rest between rounds. Here we are looking at some of the earlier action. You're right, Dan's keeping in the center of the ring, throwing some strikes, putting Ray Hollis on the move. Seems like the fights are getting a little bit better each round here and each event. So.
And that's a good point. And a lot of times, once you get to the top of the card, you've got more experienced guys, and you expect that. But you made a good point with this close of a round. Go ahead.
No, I'm just pointing out too the fact that, you know, as these guys get into the second, third round, cardio is going to be a big factor. You know, you get these bigger guys also with these 4-ounce gloves. There's not a lot of margin of error for any of these strikes to land.
Absolutely.
So let's see what happens here.
As we score that round, though, you made a good point. I mean, it was razor close, could have gone either way, but I do appreciate the fact that Guillims is standing in the center of the cage, and he's the one pushing.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens here.
Once again, Guillims takes the center of the stage, black trunks.
Lead right hand again.
Ray Hollis in the black with the yellow, and Guillims again found that right. Look at there's a good athleticism and quickness.
Right, good takedown defense. He's going for a submission right here.
Oh, he's got it locked up, and that's a rear naked choke.
He bullied his way in there, but it looks like he's got it deep. Let's see if he's under the chin. He's got the head. He's going to have to push that head forward. Hollis is trying to get high on him and push above him to counter this.
Ray Hollis is doing a nice job
fighting.
fighting.
Trying to counter this.
There's the tap. Dan Guillims.
Too much juice. It was good.
Very impressive.
That was an impressive finish. I'll tell you what, when he went for that, took his back, there was no doubt he was going for that rear naked, and he sunk it deep.
He just exploded, too. After the exchange, it looks like he had hurt Ray Hollis, and he saw that opening and then exploded, grabbed the clinch, and took his back.
Hollis was trying to defend by trying to get above him, trying to get his shoulders, higher than Dan's shoulders, and it worked for a while, but they were against the cage. Dan used that to his advantage. He was able to finish up the submission.
Excellent.
Good transition from that front headlock right to his back.
It's like a sickle just wrapping that arm around him.
Very good transitions.
We send up to Jake Digman with the official announcement of our winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner at 36 seconds of the second round by rear naked choke submission, Dan Guillims!
I'm here with your winner. And Dan, the first round you guys came, stood toe to toe, but it was the submission. You showed that you're a well-rounded fighter here inside the Rocktagon.
You know, that's how Sammy came here, he started kicking me, and oh man, it hurt. But you know, we just closed in, and he gassed what I was gassing, and I got lucky and got on top.
I know there's something we're going to talk about, but before we do that, it's been 2 years since you last fought in here. We'd like to see you back sooner. Can we make that happen?
Sooner or later, sir, wherever the wind takes us.
And right now, you hear the Semper Fi chant. Dan is currently a sergeant in the Marine Corps, and I'm sure you'd like to say something about that.
All right, you know, I'd just like to thank a few people. God, my friends, family and loved ones, Baker, all my Marines, hoorah! All my brothers and sisters, the Summit County Sheriff's Office, my corner, Aaron Bartow, Scotty, Trey Buckwall, Victory, and you know, my girlfriend Tabby, thanks, baby. That's it, I'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Dan Guillims.